Okay, good morning, good morning. Thanks for being here. So we are gonna start with sitting again. So if you have a blanket, a bolster, anything that you can boost yourself up, boost your booty up, go for it. Floor is fine too. But yeah, it's nice to get a little bit of elevation. Okay. All right, so simple cross-legged. Pay attention to what leg is in front. That's usually the leg we cross with. That's our norm. Okay, let's go ahead, just lengthen the spine, make some space in your organs this morning. Reach up, extend, lengthen. And see if you can bring that breath all the way through your spine. So from the base of the spine, the base of the pelvis, the sit bones. Inhale, reach all the way up to the top of the head. Beautiful. I love it. Then let's bring that life into our body through that extension. So see if you can straighten those arms, reach through those arms a little bit more. Extend. Reach through those fingertips, reach through those palms. And go ahead and reach your palms to the sky. As in palms facing up towards the ceiling. Good. And then exhale, arms down, arms forward towards each other, warming up those shoulders. Again, just reach through those fingertips, extend through the fingers. And just soften, smooth out your breath. Soften the face, soften the throat, soften the belly. And inhale to the top of your breath and pause. Exhale through your nose, slowly, gently. Pause. Normal breathing. And here we're getting into the neck, we're getting into the shoulders. We're warming those muscles up, warming those shoulders up. Go ahead and roll your shoulders down and back. Yes. So front chest is lifting, armpit chest is lifting, heart opening, lifting. Lift that whole front body. And then roll the top shoulders down the back body. Roll them down like a waterfall, water flowing down your back. Good. And then arms wide. Palms facing up. Good. Really broaden across that chest. There's more human potential in that chest, in those lungs. See if you can open up, make more space. Good. Reaching through those fingertips. Trying to get the wrists, elbows, shoulders aligned. Go ahead and roll those thumbs back behind you to help you get that external rotation of your arms. Good. Smooth breath. Top shoulders are rolling down the back. And the tendency here is for us to jut our ribs forward. So go ahead and bring your ribs towards the back of the room. Draw your ribs back, yes. And then when we draw the ribs back, we have to fight for that heart opening. Because those ribs forward is just a false heart opening. Draw the ribs back, open the heart. Good, smooth breath. Exhale, arms down. Oh yeah, warming those shoulders up, good job. Keep broadening wide across your chest. Extend those collarbones towards the edges of the room. Heart lifted. And whether you use your thumbs to help you lift or not, get more lift in this armpit chest. We're opening up this space. The lymph nodes under here. Breathe deep into that area. And then go ahead and change the crossings of your legs. So opposite leg forward. Great. And then move that skin, that tissue, get on the front of your sit bones. So move the glutes, move the muscle out of the way so you can roll on the inside and front edge of your sit bones. Yes. Sacrum, that sacrum skin, the base of the spine is lifting up. And then we're stacking each vertebra from there on top of each other. Good. Broad and wide, open that heart. Ribs back. And go ahead and draw the right arm on top of the left arm. We're going to crisscross. So right elbow over left elbow as much as possible, wherever you're at. And then working towards crossing those wrists. Extend and reach those elbows away from your face. Soften the face. And really breathe in behind your shoulder blades. That's an area that usually holds a lot of tension. So just melt it with your breath. Deep breaths into the back of your shoulders. Open up that tissue. We're just bringing that elasticity back into the tissues. Soft face, smooth breath, soft belly, strong spine. Spine is stacked. Reach out the top of your head. Grow that spine strong. Exhale, release. Switch your elbows. Opposite elbow on top. Working where you're at, crossing if you can. And reach those elbows away from your face. It's gonna hit different on this side. It's gonna hit different parts of the neck, different parts of the shoulders. And again, use that breath to restore that elasticity in your back and your shoulders. You know, like a rubber band bounces back. We want that bounce back. And we want that expansion. Elbows pushing away from the face, towards the front of the room. We're really warming up deep in those tissues. Use that breath, especially if any soreness or fatigue sets in. And then exhale, arms down. Good, beautiful. Okay, so I see some of us are by our couches, which is great. I want to get into our hips and our pelvis. So I can do it from my bolster. You can do it from a cushion. You can do it from sitting on the edge of your couch to get that extra height. You can do it from a chair. You can do it from a stair. I just want to see if we can get into this position. Side view. It looks like this. And again, I can be on a chair and get that height up more. So there's many variations of this, but we just want to get this pelvis moving. So find an appropriate height for you. Play with it, explore. Oh, perfect. Yes. Love it, Sandy. But ideally, you know, it doesn't always happen. Sometimes I'm on my toes for this. Ideally, we want our feet flat. And we want on the front of those sit bones. Perfect. So I'm gonna join you from a chair position because that's where it looks like the level that we have, the height that we have for a lot of us. So you're on your couch, you're on your chair. One way to do this, and we're not gonna do this right now because I don't think we have the props available, but just for your own awareness in the future, see how I can bring that floor up to me with blocks. Now my pelvis, my hips are getting open in that way. But let's work from the chair. So again, I'm gonna actually move the skin, the tissue out of the way so I can access the spine. And then we're just gonna lean forward, get into that spine. Legs are quite wide. And then you're just working your way. You're still moving into that pelvis. Yeah, perfect. Go to your own depth, go to your own level. I love it. So we're getting into the pelvis, getting into the hips. Smooth breathing. And this starts to dissect the pelvis quite deeply. So just allow for that feedback. We're going to get more feedback on a firm surface. Allow the pelvis to start to adjust. You may begin to feel that burning, that aching, grueling in the hips, yep. Or the pelvis or the low spine. Okay, yeah, we're getting that feedback. That's good. Okay, so I'm rolling this piece is important. And if you have any low back issues, you can come up a little bit. Okay, if the low back is sore at all. And remember the sacrum, we've been working a lot on that. That's the base of the spine, base of the pelvis. It's moving up towards the back of the head. So yeah, come up on the elbows if you need to. And we're still getting deep into those hips, right? So right now, I just want us to find those muscles that are going to support your sacrum and hold it in place, that are going to support your low back. And the only way to really find it is to start getting that sacrum skin lifting towards the back of the head. Yes, so working that. Let's get equal pressure in our feet. Feet are flat. And let's go feet wider for most of us if you can. Although I love what you're doing there with that block, Andrea. Yeah, let's do feet flat for now, feet wide. Beautiful. And then toes pointed forward. Right, yep. Toes pointed forward. Like we're on a railroad track. That's gonna change the pose quite immensely. Okay, I'm on the front edge of my sit bones, front edge of my seat. And wide stance, even wider if we can. Okay, equal pressure on your feet, right and left side. Sacrum skin lifting, 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 lifting towards the back of the head. Shoulders rolling down and back. So that heart's still opening, the chest is still open. Find that broadening in your shoulders. Breathe into the top of your shoulders. Your lungs go all the way to the top of your shoulders. Okay, so can we broaden a tiny bit more? Sandy, imagine that your collarbones are spreading wide, that your shoulders are spreading wide. Yes, there you go, beautiful. And then we're toning all through the spine. And I wouldn't be finding that toning in my spine right now if that sacrum skin wasn't actively lifting towards the back of the head. So keep searching for that, keep striving for that, keep that action going. And then we want to extend that to the back of the heart. So spine is engaged, it's strengthening. And then we want to pull it all the way through the heart, all the way through the top of the head. So low back's engaged. Can we get the mid back engaged? Can we get the upper spine engaged? Leaning forward, wide stance, yes. Good job. I love that you widened your stance, Andrea. Okay, now just get a little taller, make more space in your vertebra. So oftentimes pain or inflammation comes because there's a pinched nerve, there's just not enough space. So let's make that space in every single vertebra. We all have more height, more length. And then in order to keep that space, we have to tone around the spine, tone the muscles, hold that space. And if anyone has a little bit of scoliosis or anything, we all have a dominant side. One side might be firing, getting tired more than the other. Just keep working those feet evenly, the pressure of your feet evenly. Imagine that you're busting through the floor with your feet. That's your foundation, that's your strength. That's where you're going to find the toning for your spine. And lengthen, extend. This is great, great rehabilitation for the spine. We're bringing circulation all throughout the vertebra. Lift that heart a little bit more. Keep going, keep going. I'm just going to take. Good, beautiful. And so you're finding those front sit bones. Yeah, you're finding that length. You're taking that length. You're taking that strength. You're creating that strength. Beautiful. Beautiful work. Takes a lot of concentration. Okay, gently come on out. Okay, you can still stay there. How are our hips if we bring one leg up? It might be too much. I just want to see. I think it's going to be too much. Okay, yeah, no. We need just props. We'll do that another time. Gently come off your seat, back to seated. Okay, good. So we're on the floor. Ideally with a cushion under you or prop under you if you have it. If not, no worries. Just want to get your booster seat. Good. So bottom of the feet together, soles of the feet together. Yes. Perfect. And again, move that tissue out of the way, move that skin out of the way. We just want to get on the bone. Want to find the inside of the bone. Yeah, because that's when the spine stacks. This one is so good for our pelvis, for our reproductive health, for our organs, for the lymph nodes right here. There's tons of lymph nodes right here. Great. So we've brought those heels in as close as we can today. And then from the inside of our groin, we're releasing towards the inner knee. So those two steel cables, those groins, releasing away from each other towards the inner knee. Let's get that action first. And that will start to open and release the front pelvis. But it will also start to tone the glutes and the hips. Now from the outside of your knee, draw upwards towards your hips. Outside of the knee, drawing upwards towards the hips. So draw a line, paint with a paintbrush. And then combine those actions. So groins releasing away from each other. And then outside edges of the knee, reaching up towards the hips. It's like a one fluid action. And now with the pressure of your feet, see if you can tone and engage those hips more. We want to have toned, strong, healthy hips. So this is starting to bring the femur into the socket, into the hip joint. And then we're toning the muscle around it. And if you get a little bit of shaking or percolating, that's good. So let's keep going with these few actions. Feet pressing together. Groins releasing towards the inner knees. Inner knees releasing towards the outer knee. Outer knee releasing towards the hips. Toning those hips. Glutes are strong, engaged, muscles are activated. We're finding those muscles. Who knew you could get so much toning from a sitting pose, right? Like you can really strengthen the glutes here. Really tone the hips here. And soften across the belly. Soften across the face and the throat. And keep that continuous pressure and action of feet pressing, hips activating. So good for realigning the pubic bone, the pelvis, the sacrum, the tailbone. Getting those hips into the right place. And you might have noticed the longer we hold a pose, the deeper we start to go in it, deeper the dissection. The more it starts to shift the patterns, the more it starts to shift the nervous system. So we do want to hold it and explore. And the more we can continue to apply these actions, those dominant muscles, they start to release their grip. Those muscles that we haven't quite been able to find or fire, they start to fire. But, yeah, taking care of yourself. Couple more breaths. Okay, and we're going to exhale and soften the whole body. Release the toning, the gripping, the building of those glutes. We're going to be soft. And then we're going to use our hands to bring our knees back together. So not using any muscles, not using the legs, using the arms. And now our feet are together, our knees are together. Go ahead and just hug in. Yeah. Press through the mounds of your big toes, spread your toes wide. We can start to develop our ankles, feet, our arches. I've been watching a lot of amazing Olympic athletes and sprinters and runners, and having strong feet, whether you're walking, whether you're running, whether you're doing anything, it's the foundation of everything. So here, if you can work on spreading those toes wide, pressing through the mounds of your big toes, we're starting to find these tendons. We're starting to activate the feet, the ankles. So press through the mounds of your big toes, press through your inner heels. And actually want your feet to start to burn and feel fatigued. And that's going to translate all the way to your hips, to your knees, to your glutes, to your ankles, shoulders, all the way up. It's our foundation. Keep spreading those toes wide. Soft belly, soft face, strong feet. Feet are active. Reach through all 10 toes. And it's amazing, but working just through those feet, we can start to, maybe the hip is talking to us, maybe part of the spine is talking to us. We can really start getting in and unwinding at the root cause of where we hold tension. And as you spread those toes wide, it starts to spread across the knees, starts to give you space. This is just something we can keep working on. And then soften, relax, exhale, release. Go ahead and draw the left leg forward, right knee up. Good. And now just finding that length, that space in your side waist. Reaching, lifting, go ahead, take those arms up to the sky so we can find that space. Making space for the organs. Lift that heart. Try and roll on your front sit bones, lifting your sacrum skin up towards the ceiling, up towards the back of the head. Face is soft, spine is strong, arms are strong. And if you can, get a full extension, trying to get any bend out of the arms as much as possible. Reach. Good. Left leg, your straight leg is toning. Activate your thigh. Press through the mounds of your toes to engage your ankles. Engage your knee, engage your thigh, engage your hip. It's a strong leg. Reach through that left foot. Keep reaching, keep going. Good job. Doing amazing. Got this. Inhale, deep breath. Exhale, arms down. Good. Arms are down, but that left leg is still strong. It's still reaching away from you. Heart is still lifting. You're still finding that space in your side waist. How strong can you make that left leg? How much can you engage the muscle to the bone? Yes. And exhale, switch legs. Left leg up, right leg straight. And again, we have to find those front of our sit bones all over again. Release your inner groins towards the floor. Roll from the outside edge of your right hip towards the inner groin. So we're getting this beautiful entwining of the tissues, of the muscles, of the fibers. Yes. Press through the mounds of your big toes, reach through your toe tips, extend. See if you can activate those tendons along your feet. So there's actually a tendon from every toe all the way up the ankle. Most of us can find one or two of them. Work and see what it takes to activate all of those 5 tendons. Engage the muscle to the bone. Lengthen that right leg. Engage the hip, engage the muscles. Inhale, arms back up. Find that length, find that space. Yes, palms are facing towards each other. Beautiful. And we're reaching those arms back behind our ears as much as possible. Keep reaching those arms back behind you. Find that length of your spine. Find the strength of that right leg. Soft, smooth breath, soften the face. Engage the muscles to the bone, especially in that right leg. Fire that right leg. Lengthen that right leg. And find more length in your spine. Reach up, inhale, get taller. Exhale, arms down, but keep that length. Keep all that length you just worked for. So the heart is broadening, the collarbones are spreading wide. Heart is lifted. Beautiful. Shoulders are rolling back. And you still have to fight for that lift of the heart. So imagine your heart is lifting upwards and forwards at a 60-degree angle. And we're still reaching through those toe tips. We're still engaging the muscle to the bone on the right leg. Smooth, deep breaths. You have that strong power through your muscles and that softness through your breath. Smooth and soften the breath. Breathe through your nose. Keep that space in your side waist and your organs. Keep lengthening, growing tall. Good. One more deep breath. And exhale. Come on now. Release both legs straight. You can come off your bolster, off your pillows. I love that everyone is finding some height. Make a little bit of space for yourself. We're gonna do legs spread wide. Okay, so we're doing the series and the step by step. It starts to get into that pelvis, right? So we're gonna keep going, keep working with it. Good. Okay. And then keep scooting yourself just slightly more forward to get a little bit more opening in the legs. Good. Okay, let's find those toe tips again. Reach through your toe tips, reach through your toes. Press through the mounds of your big toes. Those mounds of your big toes are like the golden key. It unlocks everything else. It unlocks the knees, it unlocks the hips. So press through that mound of your big toe. And then reach your heels away from you. So grow that Achilles longer. Find more length right in that Achilles tendon. Reach your heels away from you, toes towards you. And then we're rolling from the outside edge of our hip towards the inner groin. Outside edge of the hip towards the inner groin. Keep reaching those heels nice and long. Toes towards you, heels away from you. Draw the knees towards the floor as if you were going to bust through, break through the floor. Femurs towards the floor. Femur bone. And keep going with those actions. So keep trying to bust through the floor with your femur bones, with your knees. Heels stay on the ground. Again, keep rolling from the outside edge of your hips towards the inner groins, getting that internal rotation. And then if you're able to scoot just a little bit more forward to get a little bit more width. Yes. And it just takes that intensity up one notch. Reach through those toes. And imagine that I had a flashlight and I was shining it under your legs. You wouldn't want any light to shine through. So try and close the gaps. Close the gaps behind the knees. Close the gaps under the ankles. Close the gaps behind the thighs. Good. Keep drawing those thighs down. And imagine that you have a 50-pound weight on your right thigh. It's drawing it towards the floor. and a 50-pound weight on your left thigh, and it's drawing it down. Keeping those imaginary 50-pound weights on. Keep drawing downwards equally. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Good, and then soften. Exhale, release, relax. And again, we're going to pretend like we don't have the use of our legs. We're going to keep them soft, relaxed. And we're going to use our arms or hands to grab just above the knee to bring those legs back. And just coming to the simple cross-legged for a moment. Good. Go ahead and move the tissue, get on the inside edge of your pelvis, front pelvis. And see if you can lift that sacrum skin up towards the back of your head. So back of the pelvis, lifting towards the back of the head. Yeah. Take that length in your spine, grow a little taller, a little longer. Lift that heart. And see if you can get that lift. Pretend like your sternum is on a hook and it's lifting you upwards and forwards at a 60-degree angle. And you're getting that lift from inside your chest. So from inside your chest, it's pushing outwards. Good. And remember, we don't want a false opening. So draw the front ribs towards the back of the room. And it'll feel like you're closing your chest. And you are. So you're going to draw those front ribs back, but you're still going to fight for that opening of the heart. We want those equal opposing actions. And it becomes kind of a subtle dance. So front ribs moving back, front sternum lifting, front ribs moving back, sternum lifting, ribs moving back, sternum lifting. So smooth breathing. Change that crossing of the legs. Opposite foot forward. And keep going with that same action. Ribs reaching back, chest lifting. And again, reach the sacrum up towards the ceiling. Back of the pelvis up towards the ceiling. Front ribs back, heart open. Good. Perfect. And we have a little bit of time for pranayama, for breathing, breath work. So for this one, we're actually going to get totally relaxed like we would in our final pose. We're going to lay flat on our back. If you need something under your knees, if that helps your low back, you're welcome to do that, such as this. Or you can be flat. So we just try not to be touching any props. You just want clear feedback. Okay, and the first piece of this is actually deep relaxation. So I'm gonna walk us through how I would our final pose, and then we'll get into the breath. So palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Great, perfect. And let's actively go through the body. So soften the throat, release tension, relax. Release the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Open your side temples like there were horse's eyes opening. Soften in through the brain. Just allow for an opening sensation, a softening across the forehead, across the back of the head, across the brain. And the breath can really help you soften. Now into the shoulders, releasing, letting go. Elbows, wrists. Go ahead and soften into the floor. Know that you're deeply, deeply supported, deeply held, deeply cared for. And just allow the floor to catch you. So soften in those shoulders a little bit more, those wrists a little more. Soften across the chest. Breathe into the diaphragm. And use that breath to expand across your diaphragm. Open up the diaphragm with your breath. And allow that diaphragm to soften. And then into the organs, the tissues. Softening across the organs, softening across the belly. Remember to feel that ground underneath you, you're supported. And bring your breath all the way into the pelvis, into the pelvic bowl, into the organs. See if you can breathe into that pelvis. Finding that expansion in the pelvis, that opening in the pelvis. A softening, a releasing. We can connect into the areas where the reproductive organs are or were. And then soften in through the large muscles of the legs. Bring that breath there to release any grip or tension in the legs. Softening throughout those long muscles, throughout the knees. Again, the floor supporting you. Feel your weight. Feel your wrists, your shoulders, your glutes, your thighs, your ankles, all supported by the floor. Soften through the face, soften through the throat. Your whole body is supported. Release deeper into the floor. Do a quick scan from head to toe. Softening more. Now we're going to start to move into the breath. So breathing through the nose. Take a smooth, soft inhalation through your nose. And imagine your garden hose, and the hose is pinched, right? So just a little bit of water is flowing out. Imagine that with your breath. And you'll start to breathe in the back of your throat. And the back of your throat starts to restrict that air. And it slows that stream of air. It steadies that stream of air. So see if you can find that breath in the back of your throat. And you'll be able to hear it in the back of your throat. It's just a slow, steady stream of air, either coming in or out. And then go back to normal breathing. Normal breath. Catch your breath. Smooth inhale, smooth exhale. And on your next inhalation, see if you can breathe into the back of the throat again. Like a pinched hose. It's just a slow, steady stream of air. And when you get to the top of your breath, just normal breathing again. Take a few more recovery breaths, and then we're going to do the exhale like it's that pinched garden hose, breathing from the back of your throat. So a few more recovery breaths. Taking a full inhalation. And then exhale using that slow breath in the back of your throat like a pinched garden hose. The breath is just barely streaming out. You can hear it in the back of your throat. And when all the air is slowly released, go back to your normal breathing, your recovery breaths. Do a quick scan, soften the body. Continue with your normal breathing, your recovery breaths. And the next interval we're going to do, we're going to connect them. So slow stream from the back of your throat on the inhale, slow stream from the back of your throat on the exhale. So continue your recovery breaths. Get some nice deep inhalations and exhalations. And together on our next inhale, it's just a slow stream, like a pinched garden hose on the back of your throat on that inhale. Pausing when you get to the top, and then a slow pinched garden hose on the exhale. And normal breathing, recovery breath. And if at any point you lose your breath, just go back to normal breathing. And then when your breath feels recovered, go at your own pace, working either on the inhale or the exhale or both. And hear that breath in the back of your throat. And follow up all of those deep breathing, those garden hose breaths with normal breathing. And again at your own pace, breathing in through the back of the throat, a slow stream coming in or out. And finish up your breath, come back to the recovery breath. And then wiggle those toes, wiggle those fingers. Bring that breath throughout your whole body. Deep inhale. And go ahead and exhale, roll over to your side. Come to seated. Slowly come to seated. Take your time. Mhm. Mm. So that breath, it can take us pretty deep. But how was that breath work for you? Do you have any questions on it? Do you want me to demonstrate that sound so it's more clear? Or do you feel like you were?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if it will come through on Zoom or not. Let me know. So normal breathing. And then when I'm doing that garden hose breath, I'm going to feel it in the back of my throat. And it's going to sound like this. Can you hear that through Zoom?
No, I didn't.
The
But
it
that's
block it
is
out.
is it more like I'm almost hearing like going uh but very silently, like it's slowly
It's actually
trying.
like a slow stream, like a river flowing, but not a hum. I just don't think you can hear it through the Zoom.
Okay.
Can you hear that? Okay.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know how to not have it blocked out on the mic. Um, but a slow stream with just a little bit of friction or tension in the back of the throat. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sounds like, were you starting to find that, Andrea?
Yeah, actually, I was because I've never heard it like that before and I could feel it as well. And just great imagery about the hose, garden hose, right?
Mhm.
I felt like I used depths of my lungs to breathe that I haven't since maybe as a baby, right? Because only babies properly. But like, yeah, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience.
I love that. That is so sweet. That's beautiful. And yeah, keep practicing. We just want to get into that really relaxed state beforehand because we're working with the nervous system. And so we want to be soft and calm. And again, with the breath, with this kind of breath, we don't want to come to a strained point. So if you're ever like the breath will sound strained in the back. But if you're feeling a tension and you're feeling like, oh, I'm short of breath, I can't catch my breath, just stop and go back to normal breathing, recover, and you'll slowly work up to your capacity, even if it's a half a breath or one breath at a time, but work up slowly and you'll start to build it.
And are we still breathing through our nose at that point? It's not like we're breathing out with our mouth or anything. It's
Yeah.
all in. Okay. And
Yes.
I guess when we're doing that, you feel like almost like a vibration. Would that be correct to say there's a vibration that's happening when it's the pinched hose?
It's like a stream flowing in the back of your throat, like water flowing, but it's the air. Like I'll do an exaggerated sound of it, but it's kind of like it's really hard to show on Zoom, but I'll try and find a way to show it to you. Yeah, great. Awesome. Well, I know we went a couple minutes over. Yeah, questions.
No, it felt to me, I don't know if this makes sense, but it sounded to me almost like when I was doing like a leap of air, like a slow leap of air.
Yes,
That
like slow leak
back of, yeah,
on the back of your throat. So it's
that makes
just a smooth, soft breath, but I can't hear it when I'm normally breathing. But if I bring it to the back of my throat, so yeah, keep playing with it. Beautiful. Yeah, you definitely found it, Andrea. I love it. Yay. And so we are just a little bit over the hour, but if anybody has any, if you gotta go, I understand. If anybody has any quick reflections, feel free to share.
I got emotional. At one point, I think it was when we were doing the leg. So much more was coming out. Like I just felt tears just coming down. And it was during the time I was doing the legs. It was interesting.
Was that the legs spread wide or?
When we were doing the one leg up, one leg down,
Mm,
uh, that definitely came.
Beautiful.
Funny. I don't know what it means, but
It's good. It's just emotion moving through the body.
yeah.
You're getting into it through finding those muscles, through finding the pelvis. It's just allowing us to release it. So it's beautiful. Good work. That's what I love about this work is we store emotions, we store memories in our body and our tissues. And this just helps us to like flood it out, floodgates, move it out. And it's okay. You don't have to know what it is. Just allow it to release.
Mhm.
Yeah, beautiful. I love it. Great work. Great work today.
Thank you, coach.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
awesome. Yeah. And there's class tomorrow. So Saturday class. And we'll see you guys here next week.
I'll be willing. Yes.
Yeah. Love you all. Thanks again. Enjoy
Thank
the
you, coach.
day. And do take a moment because we got to go deep in the nervous system today. So just take a moment for yourself, whether that's a little bit of silence, some tea, a walk, even a couple minutes. Give yourself that time. Awesome.
Will do.
Great job.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Andrea. Bye, Karen. Even though she's in the background. Thanks, coach.
Yes.